Hi everyone. So today we are back with our another video on generative AI. Generative AI, as we all know, it's an emerging field from last couple of years. Since the emergence of ChatGPT in November 2022, generative AI has been picked up in different industries and various fields also. So there are a lot of tools being developed in generative AI till date, which can help you in generating the text, generating the images, or maybe summarizing some of your text. But apart from that, generative AI has a lot of specific use cases which can be used across different industry verticals. But today we're gonna explore about some of the background of what is generative AI and what is actually in the backdrop that makes it so special ideally. So without further wait, let's get started. So as we all know, generative AI is used specifically to generate content. Now that content can be in different formats. It can be text, it can be visual, it can be audio, it can be video, it can be your photographs, or it can be anything. You can summarize your text, you can generate different kind of reports also, you can run your analytics and get the answers on it. So there are various set of examples or use cases available in the market which you can apply via generative AI. But how generative AI works? Let's understand today. So the topic for today is LLMs. So LLMs are what? Large language models. So the models which actually build this entire generative AI base from ground up. Large language models. So let's try and understand that. What is actually that? So today's video is entirely going to be around LLMs. Now LLMs, if some of you are aware, maybe I'll just give a brief layman's introduction to everyone. So it's a large language model, which means these are some of the machine learning or AI models you can call it, which are being trained on the heavily on the large level of text, or let's say some large level of text inputs are given to this model to train and to understand the context between those words. So basically, let's say when you are reading an essay is let's say of maybe 1,000 words or maybe 2,000 words. So you understand those words being used inside that essay ideally. So whenever somebody asks you a question, so you can relate to the words, or let's say you can relate to that question, so that where that question has an answer in that entire essay of the content or the content of the essay. Sorry. Now, in this case, the LLMs works on the same way. So rather than giving the 2,000 words content to the LLMs, so there is actually billions of tokens or billions of words or billions of parameters are given to the LLMs to understand and basically make a relation between them. Then after that, you input your question to the LLM and say that I want to do this and do that. Then based on their training, based on the content that they have been trained on, so they'll answer you those specific questions that you have asked. So that is actually the LLM. So it's nothing but specifically reading a large content and putting that content in the memory and then making those relations. And then when somebody asks you a question, you look at those relations and see what actually should be the answer. Now the answer has not to be the direct. Uh, it's the it's the layman's language that I've explained, but how it actually happens. Now what happens is, let's say this is my LLM model and I give this LLM, or let's say as a user, let me bring in here. So let's say as a user, I say it, generate an essay on maybe uh, United States of America. So let's say just a summary of it. Okay. So what it happens is, so it basically goes, or let's say you call that or you write that in the chat box and you click on submit. So what happens is it takes your query, it takes different words inside your query, generate an essay on USA. So it understands that you want an essay which is written primarily on the USA. Now, what topics of USA, demography, geography, economics, dynamics, and sociology, or let's say any of the parameters of USA, you haven't mentioned that here till now. So what it will do is it will go inside its memory, whatever it has in for USA. Let's say it has uh, thousands of pages of content for USA inside its memory. So then it will go inside that, it will start looking at that content, and it will give you a streaming content word by word. Now let me write this also. So it will give you a streaming content word by word. Now, when I say streaming content word by word means, let's say there are hundreds of lines which that LLM will give you as the final outcome. But those hundreds of lines will not be given you at once. Those will be given by word. Let's say I, am, are. So whatever the word is, that will be given you one by one. Now, internally, what happens is the LLM model basically keeps on comparing the tokens that it is generating. So let's say firstly it is generating I, then it is generating M, then it is generating something else, then it is writing USA, then it is writing something else. So it will keep on predicting the next token based on the relation. So you given it to generate an essay, but what it will internally do is look at the memory, look at the data which it is trained on, what kind of data you need. So based on that, it will actually keep on predicting the next tokens one by one. And based on that, it will keep on generating the streaming content for you word by word. So that's how whenever you go to platforms such as like Chat GPT, or let's say Bard, or let's say Gemini AI or Claude Sonnet models. So whenever you go to these models and you type in some query, so now that typing, once you type, so then you will get a streaming response out of that LLM model. Now there are in the background there are different LLM models. Obviously we know. So Chat GPT is not an LLM model. It's actually a product of OpenAI. Now, Chat GPT is a product, and GPT is the model, one of the models of LLMs. Similarly, if you use Google Gemini, so Gemini is the model which is being used when you use the Google services. So, all these companies like OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic, all these are providers. So, they provide you the LLM models. So, the core quality doesn't lie into the company, it doesn't lie into Google, it doesn't lie into OpenAI, it lies into the LLM model, which actually is giving you the content. Okay, so that is why while you're generating the content, LLMs are pretty important. And the LLMs, the way LLMs are being trained on, the content they are being trained on, that's pretty important to understand as well for your specific use case. Okay, so now let's go ahead into some of the nitty-gritty points of the LLMs, which we need to keep in mind whenever we are choosing any LLM model. Now, let's say I'm choosing an LLM model for writing a blog. Okay, but I need to understand what kind of blog I'm writing. Am I writing something related to technology? Am I writing something related to health? Am I writing something related to education? Or it can be any other sector. There can be hundreds of sectors in the world. But what kind of blog you are trying to write, or on which topic you are trying to write, that makes pretty important parameter in judging which LLM model you have to come up with. Because let's say you come up with you have to write technology blogs. Okay, now inside the technology also there can be different things like AI is one of them, web, and then mobile, and then you have your mechanical technology, or you have your electrical engineering or electronics technology. So whatever. So there cannot be only computer technology, but there can be plethora of world of technology which is available. So you may be writing in any of these areas. So then you need to understand. Let's say you are going to Chat GPT, and you are writing a blog on websites, how to build websites and all. You are writing blogs on that topic, and you go to Chat GPT and you start generating blog content based on that. Now ChatGPT may give you good content, but some other LLM model may give you more good content for the web applications blog. The reason being that model might have been trained on a better set of data, a better version of data related to web applications development as compared to ChatGPT. So that's why we need to understand whichever model we are interacting with, whether it is a ChatGPT or it is a Google Gemini or anything else, we need to understand on which kind of data set they have been trained on. Okay, because based on that only we will understand that whether they can give us the correct output or the output that we require or not. So that is why choosing an LLM is actually a pretty important and main agenda in when we start using the generative AI as a concept. Now, along with this, I want to make understand one more thing to our viewers. When we talk of generative AI, we talk of these models, we talk of generating the content. It can be blog content, it can be video, it can be audio, it can be anything else. Now, one is uh, a person who is building these LLM models. So they are the core researchers in this area. Okay, so they are the core researchers. So one is the AI researchers, then is AI product developers, or let's say developers, you can call it the way we call software engineers. So they use these LLM models, they use the product, and they make the more better versions of the new different range of products. So that's why you may have seen different kind of products today in the market, which can generate the content of let's say blog, or it can generate a video, it can generate a text, it can generate music or whatever. So that's why you may have seen all those products. So that is what the developers do. They take these AI models and they create products on top of it. Okay. Then is the AI users who actually consume these applications. Now, let's say as an end user, I am having three categories now: AI researchers, AI product developers, and AI users. AI researchers are building the LLM models, product developers are creating products by using on top of that LLM models. AI users are actually using those products which those developers had created, ideally. Now, those products, as I told, there can be different way of using it or different way of creating it as well. So that is why when I say about the technology getting evolving, or this is an emergence of a new technology trend which is coming in from last couple of years since the evolvement or the since the start of chat GPT, because people these different types of roles have been emerging. Corporates have been running behind the people who are more accustomed to using the AI products. Okay, even they are looking for the people who can develop those products as well. And at the same time, let's say if you are a product manager, so I think going forward, the organization would be more keen to take you as a product owner if you have more experience into using those AI products. So that is why whenever you are watching this video, maybe you are a technologist, maybe you are a developer, maybe you are a product owner or a scrum owner or a business owner, or whatever field you are, or let's say if you are not from these fields, you are just looking at this video from the knowledge content. So this video or this kind of knowledge will help you gain what is actually the shift is coming in the job, in the title going forward as well. So that's about for the today's video. In the next video, we're gonna explore more stuff on the LLM part, how to choose the LLMs, what actually the are different LLMs about. We'll talk about some of the models from OpenAI. We'll explore some of the GPT models and what are their differences, when to use which one. We'll try and explore something on the high level on that as well. And meanwhile, you can watch our or you can read through our blog content also, which is available on one of our web links, which is available in the description. So go check out that as well. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Bye.